Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? And so am I. One of my friends who's here in the audience today looked at me and said, I think you have one of the best jobs in the world. And I think he's right, because I get to host. My name's Kyle Belanger, and I am the host of the 60 Days of Summer Appearances here at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. If you're here on purpose to see Alex Poythress, you know that. But if this is just a bonus, let me give you a quick 20-second commercial about why you should be coming back for another 60 Days of Summer appearance. For 60 consecutive days here at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, we, included in your price of admission, have 60 consecutive days of family-friendly entertainment. Some of those days are clinics, skills clinics with basketball teams in the area. Sometimes they're shows, incredible dribbling shows and exhibitions. But then there's days like today, when I am like a kid in a candy store who also likes basketball, which actually is exactly what I am. Because I get to spend the next 25 minutes interviewing one of the great luminaries of the game that we love so much, the reason why we come back to Springfield, Massachusetts as often as we do. Coming up in the next few weeks, if you're interested in looking on hoopall.com, the names like Dominique Wilkins and Muggsy Bogues and Vlade Divac, all of them coming up tomorrow. There's Rick Mahorn of the Bad Boys of the Detroit Pistons, so many more, and I encourage you to go to hoopall.com and check that out. So here's the format for today. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to bring Alex Poythress out here, and I get to hog the fun for 25 minutes. Just a one-on-one. It's the only one-on-one that I'd feel comfortable with Alex. He would absolutely pick his teeth with me. And then it's your turn to have fun. With about 3 questions left, I'm going to ask you to start thinking about questions that you might want to ask a real NBA player. Someone who has his name etched in Kentucky basketball lore in ways that only we can dream. Following that, Alex is going to head on over to the table on my right, your left for an autograph signing. All that included with the price of admission. So let me get to today. Alex Poythress is a 4-year star for the Kentucky dynasty between 2012 and 2016. He was a McDonald's All-American, an SEC All-Freshman. He has had NBA stints with the Sixers, the Pacers, and the Hawks. And he was a D-League, G-League All-Star in 2017. And don't tell him, but he's one of my favorite college players of the last 25 years. Don't tell him that, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Alex Poythress. You didn't hear that last part, did you? All right, good. Here you go, man. Take a seat.
I appreciate it.
Alex, welcome to Springfield.
Thank you. It's actually my second time coming here. Last time I was here when Coach Cal was getting inducted.
That was an incredible speech and an incredible night for sure.
Yeah.
Now, Alex, I want to take it all the way back. I know that one of the ways that I love to introduce you all to my friends out here is by going all the way back to the beginning. I love telling your hoop story, and so much of that starts way before any of us ever know your name. You know, you're a Savannah guy. My wife's a Gamecock.
Okay.
Grew up in Aiken, Augusta, so I know how special Savannah is. You spend some time in Houston. You end up in Tennessee, northern Tennessee, on that Kentucky border.
Yeah.
It really speaks to your SEC country loyalty, all of that, but we'll get to that later. I'm wondering, when you think back on your journey, what can you tell us about the moment when you realize that basketball is more than just a game that you're playing out in your backyard? When do you realize that basketball is special in your life?
I think I remember basketball was special when I first started playing. You know, growing up, my mom played basketball, so she was the first one to put a ball in my hands. I may have been like 5 or 6, something like that. So that was really awesome for me just to play a sport. And then growing up, I wasn't that good growing up, actually, you know. But like as I got better and better, me and my twin sister, we actually play. So I always had someone to play with growing up each and every day. So that just helped me build my passion for the game.
So you telling me that there's still a chance for me if I'm still not good? If I just keep
Oh, yeah. Always chance to get better.
I like that you dialed it back. You're like, just to get better. Kyle, just get better. Now, I remember your recruitment so well. You know, your class with Shabazz Muhammad and Nerlens Noel and Alex Poythress. These are the 3 names that we kept hearing over and over and over again. And it was exciting for me as a basketball nerd of all different kinds, to watch the way that your recruitment, I mean, you had Florida and Vandy and, I mean, Memphis. And at the end of the day, Coach Calipari, who around here we're awfully proud to call him one of ours as well.
Yeah.
Coach Cal convinced you to go to Kentucky. Can you talk about your recruitment and what was it that Cal said to you that made you know that Lexington was the place?
He had to do too much convincing. You know, growing up, Kentucky was like the main school of all schools. So when he started recruiting me, I was like, all right, I'm really gonna take out seriously. But like, he just came and told us like, yo, this is not for everyone. Like, basketball's gonna be hard. So like, if you love this game, you want to get better, you want to pursue your dreams of playing professionally, then this might be the place for you. So like, when I heard that, I was almost sold immediately.
Did he come and recruit you personally?
Yeah, he came to all my high school games. He came to home visit. I think he actually came to one of my tennis games when I was playing in high school.
Did he really?
I think so.
You played tennis in high school?
Yeah, my senior year I did.
That's awesome. I love the idea of Coach Cal coming because, I mean, I don't know much about Coach Cal's love of tennis. My guess is that he wasn't there to see your forehand.
Nah, he wasn't there. I was just okay. So.
Talk to me about, so Coach Cal has this recruitment reputation. I mean, he is one of the greatest recruiters our game has ever known. Was his appearance in your living room the moment when you realized that the other places maybe didn't, with all due respect to those places, once Coach Cal shows up, that's game, set, and match, right?
I think for him, it was just his honesty, how he was so honest from the beginning. Just told me, like, this is hard. Like, it's not going to be easy. If you want it easy, then you can go to all the other schools. But, like, if you want to, like, get better, work out hard, train against the best, play against the best every day in practice, then this is a spot where you want to be. And, like, when he told me that, I actually took his word for it, and I actually believed him.
And it all works out. I mean, your Kentucky career starts with a bang, with a game that I will never forget. It's in Atlanta, in a building that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
You go for 20-8 against Duke. In fact, this is not a joke. I was showing my children the highlights of that game this morning.
Okay.
And the explosion, the power for freshman Alex Poythress to be putting it on a Duke team. Coach K after the game calls you a beast. And I think everyone was calling you that was a real coming out party for you. Do you remember that night and sort of the way that it felt when I imagine that hoop just seemed like it was the size of an ocean?
Yeah, I remember that game. It was our first like big game. You know, we're playing Duke on national television. It may have been our second game of the year, my freshman year. So of course I was a little nervous going in, but like once we started playing, I think I got a dunk like in the first minute, and then after that it like became a blur. And then like I just started playing, and I think we lost that game by a couple of points. But like the way we kept on playing, I felt like we always had a chance. And
that's kind of what marked that team, was that you guys, despite the fact that it didn't end with with cutting down the nets, that Kentucky team, that 12 team, really seemed to always have a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
In a field that was, I don't know, one of the strongest fields in recent memory.
Yeah.
In your four Kentucky rosters, which one stands out to you as the one that you would love to get back together for one more run?
I think especially the year we went 38-1, my junior year, because I mean we all came back for a reason that year. You know, me, Willie, the Harrison twins, we came back saying like, let's do this, let's try to go undefeated, and we came this close. But things don't happen that way. But like I felt like we were by far the best team in college basketball that year.
I'd like to talk about that year too for another reason, if you don't mind, because that was also the year where I got to learn about how this incredible hoop just prodigy was also one of the most resilient dudes I have ever watched and ever followed. That was also the year that your knee in practice, your knee gets injured, and it's a life-altering moment for you. On the outside, it looked like Alex Poythress was saying and doing all of the right things, but I know that had to be the most trying moment of your life. What were the conversations like with Coach Cal and the training staff as they just assured you that there still was basketball on the other side? Because that's what all of us who are fans of you, we just saw that in you. You knew there was basketball on the other side. Was that the conversation immediately?
Yeah, immediately, because I mean, at first it was tough. It was right before the practice, literally the day before we were about to play North Carolina. I went up for a layup, landed on it wrong. I actually didn't feel too bad. I actually walked to the training room.
Did you really?
Yeah, then we get a little MRI, and then they tell me, like, oh, well, it's a lot worse than you thought. It's torn. So at first, we had a lot of, at first all the feelings come to you, but then as you keep going, I talked to Cal and the training staff more, like, all right, we'll get you the best surgeon, get you the best rehab, and we go to work on this. And you still, like, this is not the end of the world. Like, people, like, tear the ACL all the time.
Yeah.
So just keep on moving, you go rehab and you'll be back better than ever.
And the numbers flesh that out. Your senior year, again, you go right back to those freshman year numbers when you were just laying waste to people in that SEC. So how hard was it that junior year to go 38-1 and to really have to be mostly an emotional support for those guys? Was that the hardest year of your life?
Yeah, it was tough, especially when you can't be out there with your brothers and everything and try to you can't go to war with them. We grinded all summer, did all conditioning, and then halfway through the year I get hurt. And I'm fully convinced if I wasn't hurt, we would have went 40-0 that year. But things happen for a reason. You can't change the past. You can only change the future.
And I'm so curious because you are one of those guys who have had the chance to be a superstar overseas. And yet you have elected to stay close to home and do all this philanthropy work and give back to your community. So I'd like to sort of turn this to your NBA career now. Do you remember, you have that first summer league tryout, the summer league with Orlando, and you end up with the Sixers for that first year. What did that feel like after all you had been through to walk into the Philadelphia locker room and see Poythress on the back of an NBA jersey after your journey had taken you so far?
It feels great, all the hard hours in the gym, the early mornings, the long summers, the long winters, every day waking up and working out, sweating, being tired, can't go hang out with friends sometimes, all the sacrifice you made, it felt worth it, that you work so hard to do something all your life and you dreamed of doing it and you finally get the chance to do it. And I haven't looked back since. And
it's interesting because I see some shirts of the markets and the fan bases that you've played for out here. I see Indiana, Philadelphia is represented here, and of course the Atlanta Hawks. Those are three incredible fan bases, awesome cities that live and breathe basketball. What sets those three cities and those three fan bases apart in your mind? How do you separate those when you think about the way those different fan bases interact with their teams and their hoop?
All three of those teams have great fan bases. The fans are always engaged. Philly loves Sixers basketball and loves Philly sports. Indiana, they breed basketball. It's all they have. And Atlanta's such a big city and so cultural based that people from everywhere come to just see the Hawks play and everything. So all three of those are some of the great fan bases I've ever played on.
And one of the things, as a Springfield Armor fan, a little shout out to our D-League team that is no longer. I also really respect over the last 15, 20 years the way that the NBA and the G League, now the G League, has become the second best basketball league on planet Earth. We couldn't always say that, and you have been a big part of that. What can you say about your time in the G League and the way that you can tell the way that the quality and respect that your teams are getting at the G League level has changed in the 3 years that you've been in the G League as well?
Yeah, for sure. I felt like it was another stepping stone for me. Just like when things don't go your way, which sometimes are happening in my life, you just got to keep on moving forward, keep on pushing, and keep on, you got to find a different way. Just because there's a door in front of you, either you can turn around or you can find a way to get around the door. So keeps me pushing, keeps me working hard, just drives my hunger even more.
Alex, just between you and me, you're so positive. Does that come natural?
You want to look at the positive things in life because, like you said, stuff happens and you can't change what happens. You can't change what happened 10 minutes ago. So there's no point of dwelling on it, worried about it. All you can do is look forward in the future.
Now, here's the moment I told you about. I only have 3 questions left for Alex Poythress. So if there's something that you're like, I can't believe he hasn't asked him about, This is your chance. So be thinking about it right now. Be imagining what you'd like to ask Alex Poythress, because I'm going to ask for volunteers in a moment, and the great Hoop Hall staffers will pick a few volunteers, and they'll put you in a line to my right, your left, and you'll get that opportunity. So start thinking now. I want to touch on your philanthropy, because, again, part of your incredible mark that you're making, not just on the teams that you're playing against, not just on the defenses that you're ravaging, but also on every place that you go. You and your sister have worked hard for your mother. You have worked hard for your community. Your twin sister, you guys have done some incredible work in your community with basketball skills clinics. Yeah. Can you talk about, at 25 years old, how you feel already that your duty as an NBA star also includes being able to lift people up?
I mean, I feel great at 25. I couldn't imagine doing what I'm doing now. And for the past 3 years, I've run my own skills clinic back home, my old high school. That's probably one of my biggest accomplishments so far. I run a free basketball clinic. This summer, at the beginning of summer, we had 250 kids, all free.
250.
Learning the game of sports or basketball, and just having fun. You can see the passion and see how fun they're having, and I mean, it just puts a smile on my face doing that.
Yeah, and looking at the photos, if you haven't yet, you got to Google the Alex Poythress Skills Clinic. Just the looks on, including the coaches. Yeah. You have, WNBA players, NFL players, NBA guys, all there, and everyone seems to recognize that this is about more than just hoop, right?
Because I have a good support system, so I reached out to a couple of my friends that I met over the years and people I've grown up with, and they always are like, yeah, I'll help any way I can. So, I mean, I got ex-college players, all the coaches. I got WNBA player coming to the game. I got NFL players that just stop in, just talk, and just want to be part of the community. So, I love that they take a part of their time, just come help me out, and while I try to help out these kids. So
incredible. And I have to ask as well, with all of this, with so many guys, and we just watched NBA free agency, sort of the crazy money get thrown around. I mean, money that, my goodness, it's unbelievable. You're in a position where you are constantly training. You personally are constantly training. How hard is it to not be able to say yes to the Zaxby's that's being delivered to your skills clinic?
I mean, it's hard because, the hardest thing about training is you got to train year long. And I always say the hardest thing about being in shape is getting out of shape, because it's so hard to get back in it. So, days when I want ice cream, I got to say no. Or if people want to go get some chicken wings and fries, I can be like, nah, I got to get a salad. I got to get some grilled chicken. But, it's the sacrifices you make just to stay on top of your game and be a professional.
I flipped it. Every day is a cheat day. Occasionally I say no. And so you can do that too. I would say you can look like this in no time. All right. So now's the time. If you have a question for Alex Poythress, raise your hand now. One of the great Hoop Hall staffers will come along and put you in a line over here. It is a great opportunity. Here's my last question for you, Alex Poythress. This is your second time in Springfield. Your first time sitting here with me, talking directly to your fans underneath the watchful eye of all of the Hall of Famers. You've got guys like Russell, and you got Irving. You got looking over your shoulder right now. You've had an incredible hoop journey. What is this moment right now particularly like for you?
You just got to soak it all in. Think about it. We got all types of greats that ever edged the game here. This is people I grew up watching, people I heard about when I first started playing. These are the pioneers for what opened the way for me. So, I'm just so appreciative of being here and just trying to soak it all in, because without them, there is no me. I wouldn't be playing basketball if it wasn't for all these people here that you see today.
Well, the game is better when Alex Poythress is in it, so I am so thrilled that you're here with me today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Alex Poythress. So now I warned you, this is the fun part. So I'm going to stand up, and I only have a couple of requests for those of you who are going to ask some questions. One is that you introduce yourself to Mr. Poythress, and you tell him your name and where you're from. And the second, and it's not just because I like to hold on to the mic, I like to ask you to let me hold the mic while you ask your question, if that's okay. All right, so without further ado, come on over. Alex, this is actually a friend of mine from the town I live in right here. I'm so thrilled. He didn't even know I was going to be here today, but he wore his Pacers jersey for you.
So,
Oh, you're going to take the seat? Look at this.
Yeah, sit down, sit down.
You know what, Chris? Here, hold on. I'm breaking the rules. Go ahead. What's your name and where do you live?
My name is Christopher, and I live in South Hadley.
Okay.
And my question is, have you taken any last shots?
Have I taken any like game winners? I hit a couple game winners. I actually hit one in college, and I hit a couple in high school. I would say I'm the most clutch person I know, but I'm just throwing that out there.
Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate you, Chris.
That's a great question. I think Chris just snatched the crown from me.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's what just happened. Here, come on over. I hope you don't mind. I'm not going to let you sit in the seat. That was an amazing moment. Yeah.
Alex, I've had the privilege of watching two young people back in my day prepare for professional sports careers. Could you tell everybody what a typical day is in the heat of summer getting ready for basketball season?
Okay, a typical summer day for me in the off season, I would say I try to wake up early because I like getting my work done early. So I'll wake up around 7:30, eat breakfast, and then I like to go work out. So I like to lift or conditioning. Either I lift weights or I go run hills, run the sand, run sprints, and then I like to go straight to the gym after that, and get like a 60 to 90 minute workout in, and then I eat lunch, recover, take a little nap because everybody needs a nap, and then I wake back up and I get shots at night. So I get about 300-400 shots up at night, and then do it all over again.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Excellent question. 300 to 400 shots a night.
Yeah, probably I'm closer to 400.
That's closer to 400. I like knowing that. Here, bring it on in. Oh, nice. We get a team.
Oh, here we go.
This is great. Hey, y'all. How are you? Here, do you want to introduce yourself to Mr. Alex?
My name is Boston.
Okay.
My name is Emil.
Okay.
Excellent. And where do you live?
I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. Keep the mystery going. I like this. All right. So what is your question for Mr. Poythress?
My question is, how old are it?
How old am I?
How old is he? All right. I told you these are tough ones. Go
Yeah,
right
I know.
ahead.
I am 25 years old.
Super old, right? Am I right? Did you have a question as well?
How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? How to be famous?
How do you feel being famous?
I don't like the spotlight. I don't like the limelight. So I don't think myself as famous. Like I go home all the time and I just do the same things I did in high school. You know what I mean? Like I come from a small city, so like I don't like big cities like that. So I just try to be a normal dude and try to blend in as much as I can.
Thank you very much. This is absolutely a great question. Two great questions. Thank you, guys. We're bringing in the closer here.
Here we go.
Hey, bud, how's it going?
Hi, I have a question. Do you think that at the end, you could dunk for us?
Actually, no. I don't have my dunking shoes, so I actually can't.
Fine.
But I can dunk a lot, so.
I tell you what you could do? If you just check out some of the YouTube, those YouTube dunks, oh my goodness. Some of those, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's a great question. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my time with Alex Poythress. Put your hands together.
No problem. Thank you.
Now the fun keeps going because Mr. Poythress is going to head over to the table on my right, your left. And if you wanted to get yourself in a line, the great Hoop Hall staff will show you the way over this way. I have